Alright, good evening everybody. This will be a video response to Wmpyr's 3 favorite improvised weapons movie scenes. So, number 3 for me, coming in for number 3 would have to be Kung Pao Enter the Fist, with Steve Oderek, I think that's how you say his last name. He was the producer, the director, and the star. I forget when this movie came out, but in this movie he does, you see he's holding there, I think they're gophers, I believe, or groundhogs, but he, I call them, I think they're gophers, but he has gopher nunchucks, and talk about improvising. But in that scene he does some crazy stuff because he's surrounded by a couple bad guys and out in the field, and he ends up fighting using these gophers and hooking them up, their tails on his nunchucks, and it's pretty cool. Anywho, that was number 3. Number 2 would be Shanghai Nights with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. Now, I know Jackie Chan's kind of cheating because he does a lot of improvised stuff in his movies, but in this particular movie, I liked it because in the scene, the improvised weapon is an umbrella, and in the scene that he ends up using it, he gets into a separate fight with a whole bunch of bullies out in London, and out in the alley somewhere, and Owen Wilson is off chasing after a pocket watch that got stolen or something like that. But Jackie's fighting all these bullies and bare knuckle brawlers and whatnot out in London, and he ends up grabbing an umbrella off the stand, I think it was, and when he's fighting with it, he ends up, like a couple seconds later, all of a sudden he turns it into like a Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins type of, I'm singing in the rain. I mean, dancing with the umbrella, doing a whole bunch of little dance moves, holding the umbrella and twirling with it, and all while fighting and making these guys look like idiots. So that was pretty entertaining for me, and I'd say that would be one of my favorite movies of Jackie's that he did of mine. So that would be number 2. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of this guy. His name is Tony Jaa. See if I can get this. And he's Thai, and he does that Thai boxing, or Muay Thai. And he in this movie, he is it's called the Protector because I guess in the Thai culture and religion, they revere elephants, and they believe, if I remember correctly, they believe that, I mean, that's like their ancestors and past kings and whatnot. And so Tony Jaa is a member of a bloodline that in times past they were the elephants' protectors from raiders and enemies, and they trained the elephants and whatnot. And so in this movie, an elephant gets stolen from his village, and he goes to go and chase down this elephant, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I don't want to give away the movie. It's an excellent flick. Go and check it out. The improvised, this is actually a picture of the scene, of my favorite scene in the movie. One of my favorite fight scenes in the movie. That big guy, he just couldn't hurt the dude. And no matter how hard he tried, he just kept bouncing off the guy. So in the middle of the fight, an elephant skeleton gets broken, and Tony Jaa goes and grabs like their femur or some shit like that, and ends up and ties it to his arms and holds on to him, and ends up using them as a baton, clubs that he tied onto his forearms. I mean, it was crazy. He started just whooping some butt, man. So that would be my number 1 pick, when he tied on the elephant bones onto his forearms in order to give him that extra hitting power that he needed to really damage this big guy. And that's about it, you guys. Have a good night. JT signing out.